Now that Donald Trump has officially taken over, at least for the near term, DC's police department and deployed 800 National Guard troops to the city, Democrats have a decision to make. And I think there's a trap in here, politically speaking, for Democrats that they have to be really careful to avoid. So, the natural inclination, I think, from Democrats is to resist this strongly, to say, rightly, that the data, the broad data that we have, shows crime, violent crime, assaults, all sorts of crime in Washington is actually down. That there's not a crime spree, it's down from 2024 even, but certainly from 2023 and earlier. Okay. And to resist Trump more broadly, that this is a takeover of a local municipality, that this is how authoritarians work, that, he's strong-arming people. I get all of those arguments. And yet, I really do think that Democrats have to be mindful not to go too far on this for a couple big reasons. First of all, yes, crime is down. I've made that point over and over again. The data is extremely clear. DC is not in the midst of a crime wave or a crime spree. Violent crime hit its lowest point in 30 years in DC in 2024. The numbers on all sorts of crime in 2025 year to year are down versus 2024. At the same time, you do not want to be the party who's saying, crime is down. Yeah, it's still high. Again, it's much higher. Crime in DC, like crime in a lot of big cities, spiked in 2023. So you could say it's down from an extremely high point, but there's still a fair amount of crime happening in the city, right? As Donald Trump pointed out yesterday, and these numbers are right, DC has more murders per 100,000 people than places like Bogota, Colombia, and Mexico City, Mexico. So crime is down, but crime has not been eliminated, or there is still a decent amount of crime. So arguing against putting more people in to lower crime is a hard argument to make in a lot of ways. And I'll point out, there's plenty of DC residents who are going to agree with Trump on this. Washington Post poll in May, 50% of DC residents said crime was either extremely or very serious as a problem. 50%, another 41% said it was moderately serious as a problem. So 9 in 10 people are saying crime in DC is either a moderate or an extremely serious problem. Now, I will note that 50% who said it's an extremely or very serious problem in May of this year, in April of last year, April 2024, it was 65% who said that. So again, that number is down, but still half of people who live in DC say crime is an extremely or very serious problem. So I just think the Democrats have to be wary of that. Now, second reason that I think this is a little bit of a political trap. Anytime Donald Trump is talking about crime and punishment, he's probably winning. In that most people in the country are like, yeah, we should have safe cities. Yeah, now I'm not sure we're ever going to have a totally safe big city, right? I would love for no crime to be committed. I think that's unlikely. It's a worthy but unlikely goal. But the point is, you have to be very careful if you're Democrats to look like you are arguing against making places safer, right? Because I think the average person who's not a partisan, yes, Democratic partisans are going to say, this is an authoritarian takeover, this is fascism, he's targeting black people, particularly in DC, he's targeting black, the subtext, not even really the subtext is he's targeting black people in a majority black city. When he talks about slums and these people and roving bands, this is racism. The people on the right are going to say, in the Republican base are going to say, this is what we need more of. We need to be tough. We need to not be politically correct. We need to not be woke. We need to crack down on these cities that, yes, maybe crime has fallen some, but crime is still too high. It's the people in the middle, right, that Donald Trump largely won last time, independents, swing voters, people aren't paying all that much attention. They look at this to the extent they pay attention to it, and they think, well, yeah, like I know someone who went to DC and they got mugged or they felt unsafe or whatever. And so they think, sure, I'm supportive of that. So again, anytime Donald Trump or Republicans more broadly are talking about crime and cracking down on crime, that's probably a good issue for them. And Democrats don't want to spend too much time on a good issue for Republicans. Last thing, and this ties to point two. What are we talking about over the last 36 hours? Any TV that I've done, what did I talk about? Did I talk about the Epstein files? I did not. Did I talk about tariffs? I did not. Did I talk about the broader economy and questions about are we moving toward a period of recession or inflation? I did not. I talked about this DC takeover by the federal government, takeover of the police, and the crime issues or not, or minor crime, major crime, whatever issues in Washington. That's important because, again, for Democrats to win, they have to be disciplined on message. And Donald Trump is clearly, I think, trying to lure them in to this sandpit, to this pitfall of let's have a big debate about crime in this country. Oh, it's down from historic highs? Oh, well, is that good enough for you, right? That's a debate he wants to have. Doesn't want to talk about the Epstein files anymore. Doesn't really or shouldn't want to talk about tariffs and their impact on the economy and the potential of driving inflation up and getting us into a recession. The more we talk about this, the more Democrats focus on this, the less time, energy, etc., that they talk about other things, other issues that are better for them. You have to, in politics, pick fights on the ground that is most favorable to you. And this is not the ground that is most favorable to them. So I understand the outrage. I understand Democratic critics of what Donald Trump is doing here. But I would suggest that discretion is the better part of valor, politically speaking, in this regard. You must pick your battles. And I do think that Donald Trump is trying to lure Democrats into a trap here of making an extended fight about crime in big cities. And I do not think that is a fight that Democrats want, because I do not think it is a fight they can win. Okay, thank you for listening. As always, take good care, and I ask you to do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get free content. I'll continue to grow as an independent news creator. All right, everyone. Take care.